Hello heroes and villains of Endsweek. Today we are going to learn how to play Oregon Trail Journey to Willamette Valley. You guys watching Board Game Centric? Yeah. What's up guys? I am Michael and today we're learning how to play Oregon Trail Journey to Willamette Valley. This game is by Pressman. I believe it's Pressman Toys, but Pressman is fine. The game is 2 to 4 players. Play time is, it doesn't have a suggested time on the box or anything like that. So, based on what I played, me and the wife, we played for just her and I. It took us maybe half an hour. So if you had all 4 players, it might take a little bit longer. Everyone could die. It might not take as long. So we're going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and look at all the parts and see what's in the box and how to set the game up. Alright guys, the components of our games are going to be 1 game board, 48 trail tiles, 32 coins, 1 die. There are 25 hunting cards, 56 calamity cards, 8 wagon upgrades, 8 market price cards, 12 pistol small supply cubes, 10 compasses, 10 medicine, 40 meat. There are 4 shotgun large supply cubes, 6 wagon parts, 6 winter clothes, and 4 hitchhikers. And then of course you have the 4 player wagons, 4 player mats, and all of your family members. Alright guys, as you can see, that is all the parts to the game. I'm going to move these out of the way. Now we are ready to set our game up. For the most part, everything is going to be set beside the main game board. You're going to shuffle all your hunting cards, your calamity cards, and your market price cards. You're going to shuffle all of your Oregon Trail tile cards. Then each player is going to take their wagons. We're setting up a 4-player game. They're going to start in Missouri. They'll each pick their own color. You'll then take 4 random tiles and you will place them on the first column of the game board. The setup for each player mat is the exact same for all players. All the player mats look the exact same. There are a few things going on. Up here in the left-hand corner, we have all of your outlines for the start of the turn, your actions, and the end of the game. You have your wagon, which contains your supplies that you will carry throughout the game. And down here at the bottom, you have your hunting track that you will use when hunting for food. We'll get into that. Each player will take their corresponding colored family, and they will place their dice face up with a 5. This represents the health value of your family. You also get 1 pistol cube, which does not count towards your supply, and will go on the gray square. You also gain $300 each family. You also gain 2 meat cubes, which you will use to feed your family. As you can tell, you have 1 extra space. All these spaces can hold 1 large supply cube, or they can just simply hold 4 small supplies. You also get 2 random trail cards that you will use. Alright guys, that's how we set up the game. So now we can actually play. The game is broken into 3 phases. It is the start of the turn, the action phase, and then the end of the turn before passing to the next player. This will go around and around and around until finally one of 2 things happens. Either someone gets to the end of the board into Willamette Valley, so you finish the round, everyone finishes with the same amount of turns, or you've placed all your trail tiles on every space on the board. Either of those conditions ends the game, and then the person with the most money wins. So let's move into the start of the turn. At the start of a turn, a player will do 2 different things. They will discover the trail, in which they will take 1 or both of their trail tiles and place them on the board, however they like. Roads do not need to be connected in this case. Secondly, if you are not in Missouri and you are not on a fort, which we'll explain those in a minute, you will then draw a calamity card. Calamity card is something that you will have to deal with throughout your turn. And that will take us into the action phase. In the action phase, a player will be able to take up to 3 actions. Those are move, hunt, buy, pick up hitchhikers, and sell. Let's look at all those individually. When moving, a player can move their wagon in any adjacent space. They cannot move diagonal. In addition, a player may also move backwards. However, they're only allowed to do this 1 time per turn. In addition to moving 1 space, for 1 action, players may also move multiple spaces so long as the roads are connected. Sometimes your movement is stopped by a river. Rivers move diagonally across tiles, and they basically stop you. You have 2 options. You can move safely across the river, forfeiting any more actions you have in your turn, or you can roll the die. And it corresponds to the number in the corners of the river. If you roll a number equal to or greater, you cross the river safely. You get to continue. If the number is lower, in this case, let's say it was a 1, that's a difference of 4 from the 5 type river, you would then have to deal that damage distributed how you see fit across your family and or hitchhikers. Simply because you failed to cross the river, so everyone is drowning. Something else you might come across are winter tiles. Anytime you move onto or through a winter tile, your family is freezing. If you do not have winter clothes supply for your family, you'll take freezing damage, and every member of your family and your hitchhikers, which are the giant orange cubes, will take 1 point of damage. Another action you can do is hunt. When you land on a tile that has the tree icon, you're able to hunt. Hunting is as simple as another player taking a hunting card and keeping it hidden from you. You will then use your meter on the bottom, and you might have shotguns, and you will use the target with shotguns, which allows you to, say, guess number 4 or 5, and you will have maybe pistols, which you would just pick on a number. And you're making guesses to what this would be. You wouldn't know. In this case, it's a rabbit. The number you're shooting for is a 3. In most cases, you wouldn't know what that is. So this guess of a 2, 4, and 5 is completely wrong. They would tell you you're wrong, and you could either use another action to hunt again, or you would just discard the card. In which case, your shotguns, your pistols would return back to your supply. Another option is to use a compass. If you use a compass, you will get to see what the card is. In this case, we know it's a rabbit. And then you would be able to kill it, and you would get the meat that is portrayed on that card. Another action you can do is buy. Anytime you discover a fort or a town, you will populate it with the proper supplies noted by the colored squares on the tiles. Anytime you are in the fort, a fort, or a town, you can buy as many of the supplies as you want if you have the money. In this case, the red wagon, if they wanted to, they could spend their money. They could, for $100, all fort supplies are $100, they could buy the meat, medicine, a compass, and a pistol. If they were in the town, they would be able to buy snow clothes and a shotgun. Another option that is possible in a fort is the ability to buy wagon upgrades. These consist of wagon extensions, which gives you extra storage space, and an additional ox, which allows you to draw another trail tile, as well as play an additional trail tile if you decide to. But be careful, there are calamities that will get rid of those things. Sometimes there are hitchhikers in your town that you visit, and as a free action, you can pick up the hitchhikers if you have space in your wagon and you can carry them with you. And if you get them all the way to Willamette Valley, you will gain $400. Finally, the last action that counts towards your 3 is selling while in a town. When you're in a town, there is a market card, and that market card shows the price for the individual items that you are selling, and you can just sell all the ones you have in your possession to make that bank. There are a few other free actions you can do. You can trade, which you trade with a player who is an adjacent tile to yours. You avoided a calamity. If it's avoidable, you can use medicine to heal your family members, and you can throw out supplies if you have too much on your wagon. Finally is the end of the turn. There's not a lot to show. It's just mostly cleanup and getting ready for the next player to play. If the player sold anything in town, you'll then take the market card and you'll put it at the bottom of the deck, and you'll draw a new one. If you ever discard them all, you can discard it. If you ever go through them all, you just shuffle up, boom, make a new one, and start from there. So you reveal a new market price, and then finally you resolve any calamity cards that weren't currently resolvable, or you waited until now to resolve them. And then finally, regardless of how many people you have in your family still in your wagon, either all 4, maybe you just have 1, you spend 1 meat resource supply cube to feed your family. And once you do that, if you can do that, if you can't, then everyone will take 1 point of damage. But once you do that, you'll then pass to the next player. That's it. One last thing to add before we talk about tallying up your points and seeing who wins. Something that happens in all Oregon Trail games: people die. Sometimes this can be from starvation, this can be from freezing, this can be from drowning, from failing your river attempts. So each of your family die have a really cool, not cool, tombstone on the die. You would then just take it off of your wagon, you place it on the tile that you're on where the unfortunate family member died, and leave it there. This will unfortunately count against you once you get to Willamette Valley, but it's reminiscent of Oregon Trail. So finally, when someone gets to the end, as we said, or all the tiles have been placed, the game ends. You figure up all your points. You want the most money, and you'll go down a checklist to figure that out. So real quick, you tally up your total amount of money that you have currently. You add $500 to that value for your driver, which is you. You add 100 for each point of each of your family members. So if you have 4 family members with 1 point of health left, you gain $400. Simple as that. You get 400 for each hitchhiker you picked up and got to Willamette Valley. And then the negatives come into play. You subtract 100 for each column your wagon is away from Willamette Valley. So if another player finished and you didn't quite get there, you will take that penalty. And finally, you're going to take a penalty for however far away your family members are from Willamette Valley for funeral prices and things like that to, I guess, get them back there. That's about $50 per column away from there. So finally, the person who has the most after that wins. Easy. However, if there's a tie, I'm looking here just to make sure I tell you guys this. If there's a tie, the player with the most supplies in their wagon wins. If there's still a tie, everyone dies of dysentery. That's what you guys were waiting for me to say. Dies of dysentery. Nobody wins. Alright guys, thanks so much. That is our how to play video of Oregon Trail Journey to Willamette Valley. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, do all kinds of things. We are growing in the subscriptions, which is really cool and exciting. You guys are constantly interacting with us on YouTube and Instagram, and that's a blast. I really love to see that happen more and more. So do all those things for us. We appreciate it. Let us know if there's a specific game you want to see. We've been told some different ones, and we plan on getting those so that way we can just get them out there for you guys. And that is it for today. Remember, guys, it is all in the box.